welcome on into the October episode of Strategy Game News. I had a ton of fun putting these games together for you this month, but if you're interested in a particular game, you can just scrub through the video as they are all time-stamped. In particular, I have been looking forward to the first game on our list, and it looks like it's finally here. Rack the machine guns and mount your motorcycles. Kingmakers finally lands in early access on October 8th. Delve into history with the armaments of the 21st century and 3 of your friends if you so choose. You'll be able to check out the campaign solo or co-op, expanding your kingdom and armies as you engage in RTS battles with thousands of units. Kingmakers throws you back to the 1400s to participate in the original timeline of Owain Glyndwr's rebellion in Wales. While it may have been successful in the game's lore, something otherworldly has altered the timeline, and as a result, Wales fell to English occupation. You're going back in time to change this outcome with an AK-47 and a dream, and should you fail, the modern timeline is subject to otherworldly conquest. Kingmakers was announced to be in development on February 21st, 2024, which, in the grand scheme of things, was not that long ago. The gameplay trailers have changed and evolved since then, with regular updates and a fair amount of community engagement. The devs cite inspiration from Mountain Blade and Kingdom Come Deliverance amongst others, whilst also noting films such as Back to the Future, which gives you an idea of what this game is aiming to achieve genre-wise. On the subject of films, in August of 2024, developers Redemption Road and publisher TinyBuild announced a partnership with Story Kitchen to bring Kingmakers to the big screen. Story Kitchen is one of the studios behind the Sonic movie series and the animated Lara Croft series, and who are also reportedly working on an adaptation of Claire Obscure. Whether or not we actually see Kingmakers land on the big screen is another question, but it is cool to imagine. In the meantime, grab your shotgun and 3 mates you wouldn't mind losing to a mass cavalry charge, and prepare to leap back in time and change history when Kingmakers lands in early access on Steam on October 8th. Our fascination with dinos is far from over, and that fascination is being indulged once again with the next installment of the beloved series Jurassic World Evolution 3. Design your park and manage your dinosaurs lest they swoop your margarita and eat your babysitter. I've only seen one of the new movies. With new tools and mechanics, Jurassic World Evolution 3 aims to change the face of park management sims by catering to unique player tastes and designs. Dinosaurs will be hatched, aged, and managed, and we could probably say the same for your park visitors as well. Keep all denizens happy and monitored while balancing everyone's needs and wants and containing threats both dino and otherwise. With a big focus on creativity and customization, management sim fans will hopefully enjoy the next exploration into prehistoric park management with upgraded tech and design. If this one grabs your interest, make sure to check out the Steam page that we've linked below and wishlist the game to be notified when it drops in just a few weeks. Pioneer city builder Farthest Frontier is entering 1.0 on October 23rd after 3 years in early access. Initially released on August 9th, 2022, Farthest Frontier saw a lot of love from players, including myself, as well as regular updates from these self-published devs. Farthest Frontier sees the player establish an evolving town in the unkind wilderness. With the usual city builder basics of resource management and layout design, Farthest Frontier added an edge to the staples by introducing combat. Having to arm villagers or suffer the loss of them as workers really upped the ante and tension whenever the raid notification appeared. In later stages of the game, a military could be raised, but to have a standing army was to mog on the entire map, as having enough surplus villagers to train and hang out in a barracks, whilst paying them a hefty portion of your town's gold, indicated to raiders that you were not to be trifled with, whilst also being a hefty resource-rich target. The seasonal management also added an extra layer of needed complexity, emulating other popular city builders such as Banished in creating scarcity of food and reluctant workers. With production and harvesting taking a dive every winter, it required the player to constantly manage and be on top of storage options. And so Crate Entertainment took another step and said, what if rats? What if spoilage? And made barrels a tier 3 item. And we need barrels because food is spoiling. I want a barrel too, bro. I want a barrel too. All in all, the game looked gorgeous, hosted an amazing soundtrack, and sported an immense gameplay loop that kept a player engaged in their struggling town. And all this in early access. Now as we come up to 1.0, a lot has changed between the builds. A massive tech tree has been introduced, replacing the town center tier system, of which I was a big fan. except for the barrel thing. With over 100 nodes across agriculture, economy, civic, military, and industry to research upon the tree, you'll be able to prioritize certain research and buildings, adding an extra layer of preferred gameplay style and allowing you to differentiate between runs by assigning importance to different nodes on each playthrough. And now I can have barrels right off the bat. Monuments have been added which will grant buffs of their archetype to your city. The Civic Monument will allow your builders to build faster and grant pretty decorations, which I cannot undersell. The decorations and plants and trees in this game are pure beauty. The Economic Monument will increase storage capacity, and the Military Monument will allow you to invite endless scaling raids for you to test your combat abilities against the poor denizens of the frontier wastelands. We don't know what agricultural or industry monuments do yet, presumably because activating the Military Monument will see your city in flames and no more monuments to follow, but I'm excited to find out what their buffs are. Policies have also been introduced to allow more options to address the challenges of running your city as they come up, and lastly but not leastly, bridges have been added so you can now settle that tasty bit of land with the clay node you're looking at this entire time. 1.0 will ship with a bunch of updates and fixes as per usual, and I for one am excited to stack even more hours into this game. Farthest Frontier will launch into 1.0 on October 23rd, and a massive congratulations to the devs on what has to be called a very successful early access period. Now, I have been trimming down on the amount of roguelikes covered on this channel, but I refuse to trim Super Fantasy Kingdom. This game is somehow already one of my favorite games ever, and very excitingly, it just got its early access release date, and you're not going to believe it, but it's this month. Super Fantasy Kingdom is a roguelike auto-battler from Super Fantasy Games and Hooded Horse. Design your city, hire your heroes, and explore your realm. And prepare to lose it all. Super Fantasy Kingdom's meta progression means that nodes you unlock and roads that you dig will carry over to your next run, ultimately providing quicker exploration and quicker city establishment, allowing you to get further and further in each run. At night, monsters descend and the war begins. Your heroes need to eat and party in order to regain their health and get a good night's sleep. Who doesn't, am I right? Which means you need to ensure your food production is up to scratch in order to literally fuel the defense of your kingdom. Your build order will become the most precious thing in your life as you race against the clock in the few hours before the monsters emerge from the darkness and attempt to burn everything you love to cinders. And if you prefer, you can play as the monsters as the Undead Kingdom, which provides entirely different resources, entirely different buildings, and an entirely different playstyle. Built around replayability, Super Fantasy Kingdom has been in the works for a few years now, and I'm super excited for this one to hit early access later this month. Like, honestly, I cannot express how excited I am. Super Fantasy Kingdom has a demo, and I'd recommend clearing a weekend or two to get some rounds in, get used to the mechanics, and wrap your listening gear around the soundtrack because it's pretty awesome. October 24th is the date for this one. Chuck it on your wishlist and get ready to roll. Have you ever wondered what it would look like if Battle Brothers and Total War Empire had a child? I'm not sure I have either, but the YouTuber behind the Armchair History channel did, and the answer is Master of Command. A roguelike army builder set in the rarely utilised 7 Years' War, which took place between 1756 and 1763, and is sometimes referred to as the world's First World War. Master of Command lets you lead a personalised army and offers a challenging game loop for strategy gamers to sink their teeth into. Master of Command is not about empire building or country management. You play the general of a single army during the 7 Years' War and lead your troops through 3 acts of a procedurally generated campaign map that reminds us very much of the Battle Brothers Overworld map. You'll bounce from town to village to recruit new units and buy items to buff them, or pillage them for supplies at the risk of upsetting the locals. You'll face over 100 encounters out in the field, all while dodging or ambushing enemy forces as they move around the map looking for you. Choosing the right battles to fight will be critical to prepare you for taking on the enemy HQ army at the end of each act. Though the campaign map will no doubt feel like Battle Brothers to many, the battles bear no similarity to its combat style, instead looking much more like Total War Empire with a charming pseudo 2D visual presentation. Lines of soldiers firing muskets at each other, cavalry charging into your enemy's flank, and cannons raining destruction from range, all while you flexibly draw their formations to confer different buffs and debuffs to your troops. Longer lines do more damage, columns allow for more speed at the risk of taking more losses if you're fired upon. How you command your army matters. Your regiments will gain experience and be promoted into different units with branching options, a little like Mount and Blade Bannerlord, allowing allowing you to promote recruits into different types of infantry, cavalry, or artillery as they gain experience under your command. There are 5 countries to select, each with 3 sub-armies that affect buffs and playstyle, providing a unique group of starting units for your campaign. Take the forces of Great Britain, France, Prussia, Russia, or Austria into battle, giving you 15 different playstyles to take on the procedurally generated campaigns the game will create for you. Like Super Fantasy Kingdom, replayability is at the heart of Master of Command. This would be a delightful roguelike strategy game on its own, but the thing that is probably going to draw most people in, I know it's what caught our eye the most, is the customization of your army. Rename everything from your officers to the regiments that fight your battles, and uniquely amongst games like this, design each unit's flags with colors, patterns, and emblems, and change the color on parts of their uniforms to make them truly yours, all of which are visually shown in these glorious battles. Master of Command by Armchair History Interactive releases on October 27th, with a week-long free demo starting on October 13th. And in other news, following the wake of MENACE announcements and that awesome trailer, we got a public demo of MENACE that dropped on September 29th. This demo includes our first look at the operations, weapons, characters, and maps that we'll be playing on, and so far seems to have been very well received by fans of the turn-based tactical combat genre. In MENACE, you lead a strike force into the frontier planets of the Wayback System to bring them back under control of the Republic. With resources, allies, and military support scarce, you'll need to choose which factions you want to cozy up with, which operations you wish to engage with, and which civvies you're willing to sacrifice in order to complete your mission. From the developers of Battle Brothers, the MENACE demo peaked at 3,900 concurrent players when it was released, and the game itself is moving on up through the wishlist ranks, currently at number 67 at the time of writing. We also got the release date for MENACE Early Access, which will be landing in February of 2026, so lock and load and get ready to fight some space pirates in the meantime. In much sadder news, we say goodbye to Gentlymad Studios, the developers of the Endzone series. They posted their farewell on Steam after creating both Endzone: A World Apart and Endzone 2. Endzone: A World Apart is actually one of my favorite city builders of all time. It's a post-apocalyptic world reclamation city builder with some really cool visuals and mechanics, not to mention the soundtrack literally being one of the best things I've ever heard in a game. It was visually stunning, mechanically really satisfying, and had a very strong sense of what world it existed in and what it wanted to be. There were lots of little quality of life aspects that it got right as well, so this one genuinely breaks my heart. It's currently $3 on Steam until the 7th of October, so I do recommend picking it up, but it's also worth so much more than $3. So if that sale is passed by the time you see this, I would pay full price for it again. And honestly, if you're friends with me on Steam, this game may have made its way into your Steam library and I'm not sorry. Goodbye, Gentlymad Studios, and thank you for one of my favorite games ever made. I do genuinely wish you guys the best for the future. And lastly, we did get a demo for Mars Horizon 2. From Auroch Digital, this sci-fi management sim takes us to new horizons, no pun intended, with Mars Horizon 2: The Search for Life. Take up wheels as a little Mars rover, or 4, and explore the surface of the red planet for signs of ancient life. You'll do so in a race against the other agencies and must utilize your resources and payloads wisely, while still remaining peachy in the eyes of the scientific community and watching world. With this demo came the announcement of a delay, but the demo is still up if you'd like to take a look at the current build, or you can watch me try to play it and instead create the first ever interplanetary traffic jam in the video in the top right. And those are our games for October. A little bit of a sad note at the end there, but I do highly recommend that you jump over to Endzone. And check out Endzone because it is genuinely a brilliant city builder and I can't recommend it enough. I hope you found some fantastic titles to pop on your wishlist and keep an eye on, and I do think we are going to see a few more games make some announcements before the end of 2025 because Q4 snuck up on all of us. As per usual, if you think I missed a game, do let me know down in the comments below, or if you'd like to see me cover a particular game, or you're a developer of a game and you'd like to see it on this channel, feel free to email me at ReneeSkyPlays@gmail.com. That's it from me today. I'll see you guys in the November episode, and also feel free to check out some of the other videos I've been doing in between strategy game news. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you in the next one. In some strategy games that will cater to your every whim. They don't do that. I've looked at myself too much today. I have. Thank you so much. Dinosaurs will be hatched, aged, and managed, and we could probably say the same for your park visitors as well. It's been too much content creation today. I just can't. I don't want to look at myself anymore. Can I do my episode? Can I record my episode? Well, how are they going to know what strategy games? Oh, big stretch. And we're just going to sit there. Okay. Timeline as they are timestamped. Nope. What are you doing? She's wagging her tail. And those are our games for October. Thank you so much. Just, if you're going to be in here, just sit down. Yes? We're done. I'm so sick of seeing my own face. I'm so sick of seeing my own face. Yeah.